Most people think philosophy is abstract, something dusty and locked away in old books. But the Stoics didn't see it that way. For them, philosophy wasn't about theory. It was about survival. It was a toolkit for living well, staying calm under pressure, and becoming unshakable in a chaotic world. So what is Stoicism? Why has it survived for over 2,000 years? And how can it give you the mental edge in your life today? Stoicism began in Athens around 300 BC. Its founder, Zeno of Citium, wasn't a scholar in a quiet library. He was a merchant who lost everything in a shipwreck. Standing among the ruins of his fortune, he turned to philosophy for strength. He studied under the Cynics, and then began teaching in the Stoa Poikile, the painted porch. That's why we call it Stoicism today. The Stoics weren't interested in endless debates. They wanted to know, how do I live a good life in an unpredictable world? How do I keep control of myself when everything else is out of control? Their answer was radical. You don't control the outside world. You never did. The economy, the weather, the behavior of other people, these are outside your hands. What you do control is your own mind, your own choices, your own character. And that is enough. Think about the figures who carried this philosophy forward. Epictetus, once a slave who lived with pain his entire life. He taught his students, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Seneca, advisor to emperors, who balanced immense wealth with constant reminders that it could vanish at any moment. He warned, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. And Marcus Aurelius, emperor of Rome, commanding the largest empire on earth, yet writing privately to himself, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. A slave, a statesman, an emperor, three completely different lives, but one truth: the strength of your mind is the only true power you will ever have. The Stoics taught four core virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. But they also trained themselves through practices we can still use today. The first is the view from above. Imagine rising above the earth, seeing your problems shrink smaller and smaller until they are tiny specks in the vastness of the universe. This isn't fantasy, it's perspective. Suddenly that argument, that email, that deadline doesn't look so big. The second is premeditatio malorum, or premeditation of evils. The Stoics rehearsed difficulties in their minds before they happened. They imagined loss, pain, or failure, not to make themselves miserable, but to prepare. When real hardships came, they weren't surprised. They were ready. The third is journaling. Marcus Aurelius never intended his meditations to be published. They were his nightly reflections, notes to himself. Today we can use the same practice. Write down your thoughts, your struggles, your victories. Over time, you sharpen your self-awareness and strengthen your character. So how can Stoicism help in modern life? When anxiety strikes, use the dichotomy of control. Ask, is this mine to decide or not? If it is, take action. If not, release it. This habit alone can lower stress dramatically. When gratitude fades, practice negative visualization. Imagine losing what you have. Suddenly, ordinary moments become precious gifts. When chaos surrounds you, use the view from above. Remember your place in a bigger story. Perspective kills pettiness. The modern world rewards reactivity. Clicks, outrage, instant opinions. It's all about emotional impulse. The Stoics remind us that strength lies in stillness. Calm isn't weakness. Calm is power. That's why CEOs, athletes, soldiers, and everyday people are turning to Stoicism again. Because in a noisy world, clarity is the ultimate edge. Remember the words of Epictetus. We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. That is the heart of Stoicism. Not to run from life, but to face it with courage, to endure its storms, and to use every obstacle as fuel for growth. So the next time life throws something at you, whether it's rejection, chaos, or uncertainty, pause, breathe. Ask, what's in my control? Then act on that and let the rest go. Because in the end, the world is unpredictable, but your response, that belongs to you. And in that lies true freedom. If you want to keep sharpening your mindset with ancient wisdom and modern science, subscribe to Modern Mental Edge and start building the calm, focused, unshakable strength of a Stoic.